What's up? It's your favorite attorney, Attorney Allie Booker. You already know what time it is. Order in the court. You write me, I bring you to the court of my public opinion, and I let you know what I think. I also let other people comment below. In addition, one thing I want you to always know is that this is not legal advice, and you can't take it as legal advice because I don't represent you. Although I'm a lawyer, I don't have all the facts in front of me. I'm going to do the best that I can with what I have, but at the end of the day, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Without further ado, let's get it crack-a-lackin' or die in the courts. I have a child support order in Texas. As a custodial parent, Dad now has child without an order. Can I get in trouble for this? As a custodial parent, I allowed our son to go with his dad for a period of time. I closed my case in back arrears, and Dad is now trying to file on me after going back on our agreement. Case reopens and the date is set. Will I be held accountable for allowing the child to go with Dad without an order? You will not. Guys, this is a very common occurrence, and I'm going to tell you this. Yes, you can file for custody of a child that you've had in your care, where the child has been voluntarily relinquished to you within your care 6 months or more. The problem is that these people already had an agreement. If there's an agreement for a child to be returned at a certain date and time, and that child and the parent can prove that that's an agreement in court, and the child is not returned, that parent can file a writ of habeas corpus against the other parent and get the child back regardless of whether or not that person is filed for custody. So the first thing this mother probably needs to do is file a writ of habeas corpus, because it seems like he's going back on their agreement. The reason that you can file a writ of habeas corpus is because number 2, you no longer have an agreement. So the first issue is he violated the agreement. The second issue is if there is no longer an agreement. The person who has custody of the child at any point can decide that they want to get that child again, and they don't have to tell you why. If they tell you, if a mother tells the father, you can have the child for 2 months. I'm going out of town, and for October and November, you're going to have the child. Do you agree? And the father says yes. The mother gives the child to the father. The father does not return the child after the 2 months, keeps the child another 4 months, and then goes to court to file. What will happen? What I would advise that parent to do, that mother, is who cares about his modification, file a habeas corpus. It's a separate action. I don't care whether he's filed for custody or not. That habeas corpus will be heard first. The habeas corpus is an emergency proceeding, and the habeas corpus is very strict on what is going to be heard. The only question before the court in a habeas corpus is whether or not you're supposed to have the child right now. The answer is going to be no, because he doesn't have custody paperwork of that child yet, and that mother has decided that she wants the child back. Number 2, that father went against an agreement that he was going to have the child for a certain amount of time. She never agreed to give him custody. She agreed to let him have the child for that amount of time. So when you run that habeas corpus proceeding, more than likely he's going to lose. The child will be returned to you, and then you will fight the modification proceeding. Now, just because you won the modification proceeding, to strike that. Just because you won the habeas corpus proceeding doesn't mean you're going to win the modification proceeding. But the judge and the court is going to take into account the nasty games that were played by that father. The judge and the court are going to take into account the fact that you lured that mother in by agreeing to keep that child for a certain amount of time and then went against that agreement. I don't know if he's going to be able to get custody off of a lie. And essentially, that's what he's asking the court to do if you've given me all the facts. Based on what you're telling me, girl, file a writ of habeas corpus for your child. Get your child back so he can get that modification denied. Put his ass back on child support, and don't ever agree to forgive those arrears again. Next case. You try to be nice to people and they play with you, baby.
Think it's time I made that call. I'm locked up and facing charges. Who gon' fight these cases for me? I call Booker Law Firm. They got the job done. They were right there for me.
For more information, contact the Booker Law Firm at 713-292-2225.